3 straight third periods where you guys have gotten thoroughly outplayed. This is who they are. This is what they do. The Panthers were, number 1 in the regular season in goal differential in the third period. In the playoffs, the Panthers are number 1 in goal differential in the third period. They are simply better when it's time to win the game.
They have an advantage in the series, 3-2. That's it. I mean, this series is far from over. I said this yesterday. I said this all week. Look, I thought the Rangers would win last night, so I was disappointed. I was angry with the way that the game ended up, the result of the game. But I also said it before the game that even if they were to lose Game 5, which I didn't think would happen, even if they were to lose Game 5, I still think they're winning this series. They have earned the belief in them. It's still a close game. All right, you give Florida won the game last night. You give them credit. They came back in the game. They won. They beat the Rangers on home ice again. Second time in this series. That's disappointing. The Rangers did some things last night that would give me encouragement moving forward. It's not like this series has been a domination one way or another. I don't know how people see that watching this game or watching this series. It's 3-2. That's it. 2 games to go. Rangers now, they have to. There is no more, wow, they need to do this or that. They got to go out there and win these games. No margin for error anymore. Their backs are against the wall. That is when they have been at their best this year, and I still have firm reason to believe, based on Igor Shesterkin, based on seeing some of the stars start to contribute last night, based on the penalty kill getting better. The one thing for me, BT, is the power play. That's it. If they don't score, the series comes down to this very simply.
It's Game 6 coming up.
Yeah, right, but if you believe that the power play is going to be what it is, and you're just saying Florida's penalty kill has been that much better,
which is what I believe,
and the Rangers aren't going to score breakthrough on the power play, then you don't think they're going to win. If you believe the Rangers can win this series, it all comes down to, are they going to be able to cash in the opportunities? I don't care if it's 1. I don't care if it's 3. They need to be able to cash in at least an opportunity on the power play. And if they don't do that, they're not going to win this series. I still believe they're going to do that, and they are going to win this series. They will win Game 6 tomorrow, Saturday night. They will come back to Game 7 Monday night at the Garden, and they're not going to lose again at home to this team. Florida's very good. So are the Rangers.
I understand the belief. I do. And they've earned that. But I think there's 2 different types of belief here. And this is what worries me from the Rangers' perspective. There's the belief, the big picture. Yeah, they should have the support of the fan, obviously, and an element of conviction that the Rangers can cut through because the Rangers have been terrific this year. There's that kind of belief. But then there's the belief specific to the series and specific to the opponent. It's Game 6 coming up. We're talking about trends like, late, maybe late Game 2 or early Game 3. Dude, the series is almost over. And here's the other problem now.
Almost.
I understood. Fair. No, I respect that.
And
I do. And I respect the hell out of the Rangers, their coach, their goalie. I respect this team. But the bigger issue, if you even get out of Florida alive, which I don't think that you do, but if you do, now you're coming back to a Game 7 where all the pressure's on the Rangers. And, oh, yeah, by the way, Florida has already won twice at the Garden.
Right.
They're comfortable. This is bad, dude.
I don't think that there's any pressure on the Rangers anymore.
What?
I think that maybe there was pressure last night. I think nobody expects that outside of them themselves or the Ranger fans that are believing in this team. Nationally, nobody expects them to win. I really don't think that there's pressure. Now, ultimately, if they lose, if and when they lose this series, we're going to criticize them and talk about what this year was, whether it's a failure, whatever. But right now, I don't think there's any pressure on the Rangers. I think there's pressure on Florida to close it out. And coming back to a Game 7, would there be pressure? Sure, but I think there's pressure on everybody in Game 7, Florida included. Even though they're on the road, people are going to expect them to win. Florida's big favorites in this series. They were coming in. Now they're obviously even bigger favorites. Nobody's expecting the Rangers to win. The Rangers are going to win this Game 6. This is what they've done all year long.
Yeah, but hold on, Sal. We can't have 2 different standards for the Rangers. President's Trophy, 94 recreation, the hat trick by Kreider, echoing the ghost of Messier.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, the same breath, or 2 or 3 days later, we say, well, nobody really expects the Rangers to win. Which one is it?
Well, I'm talking about
Are the Rangers the dominant team that smoked the entire league, or are we going to start making excuses for the Rangers? Win at home, man.
Well, who's making excuses?
No, I'm saying in general.
Yeah.
Like the odds makers, this and that. No, there's an immense amount of pressure. The Rangers, now, they're not built to beat this team. They're not tough enough. This is not a good style. Stylistically, this is a bad fight for the Rangers. And Sal has said, and Sal is right, that if they're able to win these next 2 and get to to the Stanley Cup Finals, then guess what? Some of these guys who were put on ice, they're in the series based on what they do well that has been offset by Florida, which is just tough and fierce and very, very different. They're built differently. Those guys will have more room to operate, and they probably will win the Stanley Cup. They're not getting there.
It's 3-2.
I understand
It's a series that...
It feels like it's 7-1.
Well, to you, maybe it feels like that.
To everybody, Rangers have been thoroughly outplayed, Sal.
And by the way, it could feel whatever it wants. It is. It's 3-2, so it could feel however. I mean, I don't think it feels like a 7-1. There was one game that got away from the Rangers in this series, and that was Game 1. That's a long time ago now. We're going to Game 6 here tomorrow night. It's a 3-2 series. If you expected the Rangers to go to 6 or 7 games in this series, like I did, I thought the Rangers would win in 7. That was my prediction before that. That means that you're putting in 3 losses already. If Rangers in 7 means they're going to lose 3 out of the 7 games in this series. Well, they've already lost 3 out of the 7 games in this series. They've got to win the final 2. I don't care how you get there, get there. And now it's going to be the same equation that it was in the Eastern Conference Final 30 years ago against the Devils. Have to win Game 6 on the road, and they have to come back home and win in Game 7. Nobody said it was going to be easy. They got to do it. They have the pieces in place to do it. This is not an uphill battle. They've got the better goaltender. They've got some excellent players. They've got a deep team. They've been resilient. These games have been close. To me, the one thing they have to do, it's imperative, is break through on the power play. That has been the only bugaboo in this series. Had they had that going, this series might have been over in 5 or 6 games against Florida. So the power play's got to get going. I believe that it will. Hey, 2 games, BT. That's it. They're not down 3-0. They're not down 3-1.
Yeah.
They're also not getting blown out in these games.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you can hang your hat on that win or loss, but it's been a close series. When they won, it's been close games. When they've lost, it's been close games. I have firm belief that this team is still going to win the series, and I'm not going to waver until this series is officially over because they've earned that.
All right, 888-808-1019. It's BT and Sal. Brandon's here to Sal Licata show inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Friends of Town Fair remind you that you always get the guarantee lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Let's get these Ranger calls. I got a quick one for you, though, because you did say Rangers in 7 before the series started, right? So, but there's a couple of ways to get to Rangers in 7. You have to at least grant me this. When you made that, again, predictions, whatever, dime a dozen. If there's a series, we're all going to tell you what we think is going to happen and how many games, and we're usually wrong. But we make a prediction anyway because we're on the air for 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day. You said Rangers in 7. There is no way that, and I know that you know how good Florida is and how tough they are. There's no way that you could have seen this. I know it's only 1 game separating 3-2, but the difference in physicality, it's got to be more pronounced than you thought coming in. Well, there's no way you expected these optics.
Well, I thought Game 1 was the one that kind of made me feel like, oh, okay, this could be a problem. But that went away after watching Game 2, 3, 4,
What
and 5.
about last night's third period?
Yeah, okay, well, what about last night's first period, though?
They own every third. If it's tied Saturday,
beginning
in the third game's over.
Yeah,
Rangers are done. They can't outplay him in the third period. Well, they're exhausted, they're pushed around, and they're physically spent.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the way the first period went was great for the Rangers. The way the third period went was great for the Panthers. I mean, the Rangers have won these games in overtime as well, so it's not like all of a sudden they die out and can't close out a game or can't get a victory. They have won in overtime twice, so I'm not worried about that. Florida's very good. And if did I think it was going to play out the way that it did, lose Game 1, lose Game 5 at home? Probably not. But when you think 7-game series, you're also not thinking, well, the Rangers are going to win the first 2 at home. They're going to lose the next 2 on the road. They're going to come back. Like, this is what happens in a long series like this. Just like right now, I guarantee you the majority of people in this sports world believe that Florida is going to end this series in 6 on home ice. They're big favorites. Everybody's expecting that to be the case. Not going to happen. That's the beauty of sports. Rangers are going to go in there and win this game. And by the way, it's not crazy to say that when you're talking about 1-goal games. Like, even with you saying or others feeling like Florida's dominating, these are 1-goal games.
But that's how they want to play.
Yeah. Okay.
It's by design.
Then I'll take my chances with that.
Okay. All right. 888-808-1019. Let's get to you. Tyler's up in Westchester, BT and South. Tyler, what's going on, buddy?
Thanks for the call. Just wanted to say I agree with what you guys are saying about the power play, about Game 6. I just think Trouba's got to stay off the penalties, got to lay off the penalties. I think Brett needs to get loose on the power play. I think that will allow a lot of dimension to the game. Shoot up top on Bobrovsky. Everyone knows that. Yeah, thanks for the call. Appreciate the Rangers talk.
All right, you got it there, buddy. Let's get Mickey up in Connecticut with BT and Sal. Mick, what's cooking?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call, and hopefully y'all doing well.
Yeah,
hey, listen, I got 3 points, and I'm going to rapid fire for you guys.
Okay.
Point number 1, they need to hit on these power plays, and they need to stop giving away stupid power plays. Even in that last game, not last night, but the one before that power play that led to the win for Florida, I mean, that was such a stupid play. Let's just be honest. But you need to capitalize on power plays. You need to score. Point number 1. Point number 2, this series reminds me a lot of the 76ers versus the Knicks, if you really think about it, in terms of the grittiness and toughness. But something that I noticed the other day, and I'm sorry it took me like 4 games to realize this, what they're doing is playing man-to-man coverage instead of playing zone, instead of playing the puck. They're playing the man, and that's where that grittiness comes from. And number 3, I know they were talking about Trouba and was it a dirty play, but if you look at this series, man, Florida's been playing dirty this whole entire series since game 1.
Oh,
so I don't want to hear nothing about
Mickey.
that.
Quit with the
no, I don't want to hear about that. I want to
playing dirty. They've been playing this way all year. They played this way last year to get to the Cup before they lost to Vegas. What are you talking about, dirty, Mick? They're not playing dirty. They're playing tougher. They're playing with more urgency. Yeah, come on.
They're a physical team, and they do push the boundaries a little bit, but that's hockey, and the Rangers got to find a way to respond. I don't think that that's not why the Rangers are down in this series. They're not down 3-2 because of Florida's overwhelming and overpowering physicality. Florida's a good team. So are the New York Rangers. I don't understand here's the reason why the Rangers are down 3-2 right now. The power play. Look no further than that. It is a great strength of this team all year long on through the first couple of rounds in a postseason. Until now, that's the issue. Shesterkin's been great. Yeah, of course. All right, Panarin, Kreider, Zibanejad, have they been lighting it up? No, but you saw last night they had their presence felt a little bit more in this series. Obviously, Kreider scoring the goal. Yep. Zibanejad looked better. Panarin was actually more active last night. He's still too soft for a series like this for my liking. But still, that's not the issue. The issue is the power play. The Rangers need to, that's just how they're built. They need to take advantage of the power play. And they haven't. And that's a testament to Florida, so you give them credit for their PK, but that's the difference. If those power play goals start going in, and I expect that they will, they are going to win this series. If not, that's it. It's a wrap.
Well, I mean, you know, you've said it a few times, the Rangers are good, and we know that. It's a bad matchup. That's the point. Right, but it's not a good matchup.
Well, how bad can it be?
Zibanejad, can you say, he's probably still flailing away on that empty netter.
Right.
How about you try to get the puck instead of selling a penalty here? So what in the world was that?
But for everybody that's saying it's a bad matchup and Florida's so much better,
it's a bad matchup. Yes.
Well, how are all these games then one-goal games
because
and we're 3-2 in a series?
Because this is how Florida wants to play.
Oh, they wanted to lose 2 games so far?
What's that?
They wanted to lose 2 games in the series?
No. I don't mean. I mean stylistically.
Right.
This is their template.
Okay.
Keep it tight.
Right.
Tire you out. Get a bunch of jabs. Periods 1 and period 2. Third period, bang. There's a shot on the chin. That's what they did during the regular season. Right. That's what they've done all playoffs, and that's what they've done every third period. At least the last 3 to the New York Rangers.
They're playing with fire. Because if you play that way and you want it to be close to the vest, that's fine. The Rangers eventually are going to cash in these power plays.
When?
And that's going to be a problem. Oh, I mean, it's 3-2.
Sal,
there's 2 games to go here.
I'm going to claim ignorance of this. Yeah. Like I've always said, I'm going to stay in my lane. I've watched every second of every game, going back to the Capital Series, or when the playoffs start, I'm all in. But I'm obviously much more of a basketball guy. I'm not trying to front and fool anybody. I have a legitimate question for you. I think I know the answer, but I might not. How many teams are this reliant on the power play that win Stanley Cups?
Well, I don't think
that's not a good way to be built for Stanley Cup success.
It's not just about the power play.
But that's what you've said every time they lose. You told me they got to get the power play going.
Right.
How about you score at even strength like, I don't know, most great teams can do once in a while?
I'm telling you, that's the difference in this series. Actually, the Rangers have been better scoring on the penalty kill.
No, true. Couple of shorthand. I know.
Well, not a couple. They have 6 shorthanded goals in the postseason.
I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this series.
Yeah, fine.
A couple of this series.
Every other team in the NHL in the postseason has 8. The New York Rangers have 6 by themselves. That's something special. So it can't just be they're not good 5-on-5 or the Rangers can't score. They've scored 6 goals.
I didn't say they can't score.
Being a man down.
They're not as go ahead.
But my point about the power play is not that they're so reliant on it. I'm saying that that's the difference. If you look at this series, that's the difference. Not Florida's physicality, not Florida's puck possession and puck control.
That absolutely matters. The Rangers barely have the puck.
The difference is the power play. The Rangers Rangers, if you look up in the drop in performance, like if Aaron Judge hits 60 home runs in the regular season and then in the short postseason series he doesn't hit any, and the Yankees lose but they pitch well on the bullpen, you'd say, well, the difference is if you take the regular season team to the postseason, Judge didn't do what he's done. That's the difference for the Rangers. Their success prior was in addition to having the power play clicking. It's not that they can't score 5-on-5. It's that the power play puts them over the top. And in this series in particular, they have needed that power play. They have not been able to cash in but once. And even in that game, they lost. Without that, and last night, for example, up 1-0, you get the opportunity to go on a power play. Forget about the goal.
Yes. Yeah, that was a waste. No question.
It could have been 5-on-3, but we know about the dumb penalty, the roughing penalty on top of that. Still, forget about that. You're up 1-0, you go on a power play. And I'm saying this is where you have to cash in. Right now. Take the 2-0 lead. Put this game away at home.
Yep.
They didn't do it.
I know.
And then they had another chance later in the game. Okay, this is the one to take the lead. Cash it. They didn't do it.
Why didn't they do it? They didn't do it because Florida's not allowing them to.
Correct. But eventually, and it's not like the Rangers' power play has been stagnant. They've gotten some good opportunities. Eventually, it has to, and I believe that it will, go their way, and then they're going to win these games. That's a difference. It's an incremental difference right now between the two teams.
888-808-1019. Jerry's in Bergen County, BT and Sal. Jerry, what's going on, bud?
Yeah, Sal, those 10 or 20 milligram edibles you're eating, dude. Come on. If you don't
I don't do that. I've never done drugs in my life.
All right. Then you need to realize.
Have you? Have you?
Yeah,
okay,
actually, I have.
So of the two of us, you're the druggie, not me.
I'm the caller. Sal, I'm the caller here. If you don't have the puck, you're not going to score a goal, and you're going to make mistakes and take penalties. Florida is a better team.
Okay.
It's a better matchup for them. The Rangers can't handle it.
Okay.
You don't have the puck, you're not going to score a goal.
Right.
You're going to take penalties. That's why Florida's winning.
Yeah.
Look at the time of possession. You've won 3 periods out of the last, maybe
No, they've won
15?
2 games out of 5. How about that math? Put down the edibles and do the math. It's 3-2 in this series, and get lost. 3-2 in this series. Oh, you need the puck to score. No bleep, you moron. Come on now. I mean, jeez. They lost 3-2 last night. Oh, Rangers are terrible. They're down 3-2 in this series. They can't compete. You know what, boys? Don't even show up in Florida. Go home. Go home. Why bother? The President's Trophy means nothing. The most wins in the season means nothing. The most points in the season means nothing. Sweeping the Capitals means nothing. What you did against Carolina, a team that nobody said you were going to beat, that means nothing either. Kreider's season, Panarin's season, Igor Shesterkin, the best goalie in the world, he means nothing. Your penalty kill means nothing. Pack it in because Florida controls the puck. I mean, come on. You're down 3-2. It's over. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. I'm putting my mouth and my words and my name on the line. I believe the Rangers are winning this series. End of story. They could lose it. We'll see what happens. I believe they're still winning. It's not that far like everybody's making it seem.
888-808-1019. So, Sal he believes it. I get it.
Edible free, I might say. Drug free.
I respect it. I have watched 5 games, and to me, there's no doubt who the better team is. We shall see.